Many of us have innate remembrance of connecting with the dragon realm. Some of us do it through our dream time, some of us do it through deep meditation states. There have been many stories, symbols, and folklores about dragons across multiple traditions and cultures on Earth. I believe that the media have portrayed dragons in a certain way. Like Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, dragons are often seen as beings that are greedy, as dominating, or orientated towards their self-interest. From my spiritual experience, I have found that there are many types of dragon, and that when you connect with the right group of dragons, it can actually help you accelerate your spiritual path, strengthen your spiritual protection, and to help you grow your spiritual gifts and abilities. In this video, let's talk a little bit more about dragons and how you can work with them in the sense of spiritual ascension. In this video, we will talk about the 4 elemental dragons. We'll also touch on the Stormbringers, Chaos dragons, and the Chromatic dragons. Please bear in mind though, in the dragon realm is very multidimensional. They have multiple hierarchies, sub-clans, subgroups. So it's really important for us as we move forward to learn about the dragon realm to be highly respectful and to keep in mind that the dragon realm is highly intellectual, highly spiritual, magical, and full of surprises. What you might experience might be different than mine, but whatever you learn from this experience today might help you anchor and affirm your current experience. And if you are a new beginner who's seeking more experience and more teachings from the elder dragons, it will perhaps give you a good big picture or a guideline to get started. When working with the dragons, I often find that they work with very strongly these 3 archetypes. And these 3 archetypes is the strength of the warrior, the heart of the healer, and the wisdom of the alchemist. I find that dragons themselves are quite discerning into who they work with. So they usually find people or beings that have these 3 archetypal energy, right? The strength of the warrior, the heart of the healer, and the wisdom of the alchemist. If you're someone that is truly wanting to devote yourself onto this path of bringing forth these wisdom, healing, and strength into this realm, the dragons are happy to work with you and be your guidance teacher or mentor. Let us begin by understanding the Earth Elemental Dragon's energy. Earth Elemental Dragons are oftentimes seen with very earthy colors. They range from mossy green, forest green, brown, gray like stone or rocks, and also dark brownish red as well. And of course, there are outliers. There are some that are beyond these colors, but majority speaking, they are all around these kind of colors. They can have different forms. They can be the long dragon like the Eastern dragons. They can be winged. They can be like the traditional Western dragons. There are many different forms of dragons. Some dragons have a hybrid of like a mermaid tail, for example. So we cannot ever lump sum these dragons into one shape or form. Many of them can actually shape shift as well, right? Because they are interdimensional masters. So we just have to keep in mind about those visuals when I'm talking about this. I'm generalizing. I'm just talking about what they generally look like. The Earth Dragons, if you have an Earth Dragon guide, they often help you with compassion, right? Building out compassion, like Buddhism, loving kindness. They are also very good masters in terms of helping you with your self-esteem and your self-worth. I also find that Earth Elemental Dragons are grid masters. So you might find that in your life, you are called to work with portals, grid lines, stargates, and so forth. The Earth Elemental Dragons are also, they have this quality of honoring. They might be very traditional, right, when it comes to honoring. So you might find that if you have an earth dragon, they really go by the rule, right? They really go, this is the step, this is how you honor, right? This is how you move forward in your practice. They very much like, you know, go by the rules, right? Go with the practice, like practicing Kung Fu. You practice the same form over and over again until you get really good at the form itself. And it is in that practice itself that you unlock these wisdom and strength and healing and light love that it's innately within yourself. Water elemental dragons, on the other hand, are a little bit more lighthearted. I find that water elemental dragons often work with honesty, right? Being honest toward ourselves and to others, which means assertiveness as well. They have to do with feelings, emotions, creativity. They also help you open up yourself to receive, right? Releasing blockages in terms of receiving. They also work with the energy of flow, right? Flow, play, surrender, and trust. Water dragons, I find, is also peacekeepers. They are very gentle. They are very go with the flow, right? There's no right or wrong. They kind of help you let go of those mental blockages of needing things to be a certain way. So if you have a water dragon in your life as your spirit guide, having their presence around you alone can help you attune to that frequency. Water elemental dragons also work with the human in terms of healing vibrationally, whether that is energy healing or healing through water, like Dr. Emoto's scientific experiments, for example. Water dragons, I find that often are found in rivers, in lakes, in oceans, and you'll have to see them with your third eye. Their colors ranges from white, right, to the lightest white, to the darkest blue, right, green. There are many different colors. Some of them have multicolor as well. So they're very beautiful, very flowy, very playful at times, depending on the dragon themselves. And water elemental dragons are definitely there to help us with our healing, right, creativity, which we really need at this time. Air elemental dragons ranges anywhere from white to yellow to blue, green. They are usually like the lighter hues as well. Looking at them with my third eye, they're mostly in the sky and they are transparent even when I'm looking through my third eye. So they're quite elusive sometimes, right? They move between dimensions and densities. They are expert at astral traveling. They are also experts in the rainbow body. That's why they used to work a lot with the Tibetan monks in the mountains. And whether the monks know it or not, I'm not sure. They do work with these dragons' energy and download this wisdom and information, right? These rainbow body symbols, practices are very much connected to the air elemental dragons. The air elemental dragons also help you with releasing attachments to the human realm. It is one thing to have this groundedness and connection in our physical body, right? We never want to forget as a channeler that we have a physical body. It's so important for us to strengthen it. And that's why at different times in your life, you might have different dragons that work with you to strengthen that aspect or that element in your body. The fire dragon is most often seen in our culture, in movies, but they're often depicted as the shadow side, right? The anger, the greed. But in their ascended form, when they are dragons of light and being service to others, they are very powerful. They also stand for respect. They also come into your life when you're going through a transformation. They provide you with a lot of insights and clarity, right? Think about fire, light. It brings forth inspiration, clarity within your life. So if you are in somewhere in your life that you feel like you're transitioning from one chapter to another, a lot of times fire dragons would be very good spiritual guides for you to work with. Given said that fire dragons also worked with manifesting your life purpose, I would say they remind me very much so like Archangel Michael, right? Your purpose, your passion, courage, and your divine destiny. These are areas of expertise of the fire dragons. So now we'll touch on other types of dragons that are related to the elemental dragons. And I asked my dragon guide, right, if there's anything that I should share in this video. And I asked him, well, is it possible for these elemental dragons to jump from one element to another? And he said yes. And these are called the chromatic dragons, and that they can change form. They can hop from one element to another. So these are like chromatic dragons. In terms of chaos and storm bringers, I also asked him, I'm like, okay, chaos and storm sound very similar in the human realm. So how can we understand it a little better? And this is what he gave me. So chaos dragons work with energy. And chaos dragons also work very closely with the gatekeepers. The gatekeepers work closely with the chaos dragon as a team to bring souls through incarnations. So let's say if there's a soul, right, that has been trapped in the lower world, and that the soul is ready to incarnate and maybe cleanse their karma and to be in the physical form. The chaos and gatekeepers would guide this soul to go into the higher realm, to speak to their higher self, to speak to the ascended masters and the higher dimensional beings. And then from there, right, they will guide the soul into incarnation. So that's what the chaos dragons do, is they work with chaos energy and also with the souls in astral form. He also described the energy in somewhat like almost like if you were to visualize a UFO, it spins vertically in a circular shape. So that's like chaos energy. Whereas storm keepers work more with matter. And storm keepers' energetic signature are more like a vortex or a tornado. It moves upwards, right? So the chaos go like this. The storm bringer's energy is upwards. So it's like a horizontal and vertical movement. So that's how they differ. Storm bringers also work alongside with grid masters, very much so. And they work with souls too, more in the physical form. So if you are in this realm and you're going through, like, let's say stuckness, for example, it's the same routine, same thing every day. And if you want some movement of energy, storm bringers are the ones that bring in this energy of upheaval. Doesn't mean that it's gonna be easy, right? We have to be pushed out of our comfort zone. And I have worked with storm bringers in my life a lot. And one of the most powerful crystals that you can use to invite Stormbringer is those gold rutilated quartz. It looks like clear quartz with golden threads in it. So those quartz are very powerful in terms of working with Stormbringers, but only wear them when you want that shift. I remember I didn't know about this, so I would wear it all the time, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, why is my life going like a tornado? Until I realized that, oh, you only wear this when you want to have this energy in your life. So that's what we need to remember when we work with energy. So I hope that explains it a little bit clearer. Now let's go into the process itself in terms of working with dragons. We often think that we choose our dragon guides, but it's not quite true. It's not the full picture. I find that the dragon chooses you. So the first step when you're working with dragons is that you have an innate calling. Either you have a past life that you've worked with dragons before, or in your multidimensional self, you really connected to the dragon realm or elemental realm. And you will go through an initiation. And in this initiation, you will meet with a wisdom gatekeeper. One of the most well-known wisdom gatekeeper is Aldram. Aldram is just the short form of this dragon's name. This dragon's name is so long, we can't even pronounce it as human. So we call him Aldram. When you go through your initiation, oftentimes Aldram will send out a messenger to come and get you. And these are all in the astral realm. This is all done in the meditation state. For me, a fledgling came to get me. It's like a small fledgling that can fly. And she came to me and she guided me into she guided me into these caverns and tunnels. It almost looked like you're going under earth or something. And within this under earth, they come across this humongous gate. And there's this dragon guarding the gate, and it's the gatekeeper, the wisdom gatekeeper. And you go through this initiation process with the wisdom gatekeeper, right? You have to devote yourself to the practice. It's not something that, oh, I'm gonna play with it one day and then I'm gonna go do something else. No, going down the path of a dragon shaman or dragon warrior takes commitment. So you only get to pass through the gate when you are deemed that you are devoted, when you're a devoted student. The dragons, right, in our human term, are quite picky about who they let in. So the moment that you choose, you know what, I'm going to devote myself to this. I'm going to go from a white belt all the way to a black belt and beyond. I'm going to practice. I'm going to keep working with this energy. And so, yes, anyone can go right through this initiation, but you have to have that devotion. And it makes sense, right, for them to bring forth these type of sacred wisdom and knowledge. They want to make sure that they give it to someone that is using it for good, that is going to use it for service to others, and that they are devoted onto their path, right? And so that is the initiation state. The next phase, and this is usually like one meditation. And for me, I waited, I think, about 2 to 3 weeks until the next phase. The next phase is meeting your mentor. And your dragon name should be something that is sacred between you. In terms of the relationship between your dragon mentor and you, it's quite intimate. You don't have to share all your details to the internet. I do share some of it just to help, right? Some of us remember. But a lot of the details I keep to myself. So it is a really sacred journey. And these knowledge should be between you and your dragon mentor, unless instructed otherwise. So for me, I met my dragon mentor in one of my meditation, and then I had to wait, I think, 3 to 4 weeks. And I really, during that time, have to show them that I'm doing the practices that they asked me. I'm strengthening my body physically. I am practicing basic magic, right? Learning different herbs, crystals, oils, and so forth. So do your homework. And then the next stage that you go into this experience is a dragon flight. So your dragon guide will bring you through astral traveling into parts of their realm. They may not show you everything, but they will show you a realm, right? And for me, my guide told me that I have visited this realm before. And I'm not sharing this to say I'm better or I'm special. It's not at all. I'm sharing this so that you can remember your multidimensional self too, because all of us need to remember our multidimensional self. And that's how we integrate all of these beautiful high wisdom into our current life, into our present self. So go on, right? Meet your dragon, go on a dragon flight, and they will take you into parts of their realm. That will continue, and basically from that point onwards, you are initiated fully. And as you move forward, your guide, right, will teach you different things. So they might teach you how to use crystal, help you become a crystal master. They will also help you with magic as well. So with me, I practice what we would call green magic. The word magic has been tainted by the dark, and I don't want that to be like a negative energy anymore. We need to reclaim all these sacred symbols, like the triangle. Those are all sacred symbols, right? But then the dark forces have created in such a way that it's bad. We associate it with like bad energy. But they know how powerful these symbols are. That's why they want you to associate these symbols to the darkness, because then it keeps you disempowered and disconnected from source. So reclaim those symbols. Let's reclaim, right, the goodness of magic, white magic, green magic. White magic are like protection and healing. Green magic is also protection and healing, but using herbs and plants and flowers. Whereas white magic uses more light energy. Usually your dragon guardian will teach you how to create your first wand, right? Your magical wand. And the purpose of this wand is to balance your energy, balance your yin, yang, light, and shadow energy. It's also helping energy focus through this wand, right? Your wand is very sacred, just like singing bowls, just like any other sacred tools that you use in your practice. So your wand should be something that's only for you, right? You shouldn't let it like other people play around with it. It's very sacred. They will also teach you protection as well. I remember that the dragons came to me when I really needed them, when I needed that up level in protection. So they taught me, right? They strengthened my auric field. They also taught me some protection symbols that I use for myself as well. And the thing with these symbols is that I don't really use it on clients because I don't have permission to do so. It's like, yes, you know, ascended masters, angels, if people want to work with them, you have permission. But because dragons is such a different realm, I don't like to impose those energy on my clients. So when you work with dragons energy, just be very mindful and conscious. And I made a mistakes before when I was just starting out the journey with dragon. I had somebody that is working on their spirit guides, and I channeled their dragon guide, but it was too soon. The power was too strong, and I think I might have scared them off a little bit. So don't make the mistake that I made in the beginning of my journey, right? Be very conscientious and conscious when you work with energy. Yes, so symbols. And I basically covered everything that I wanted in this video. So if you have any questions, please feel free to comment below. I know that the dragon energy is very strong right now, guys. They hear, right, the ancient masters of magic, gatekeepers, portal keepers, key holders. They are here to help us, right? We have been associating negative energy with like dragons, with draconians or reptilians, but it's time to balance that scale. Let's work with the light dragons, the elemental dragons, the elders, right? These spirit guides. Let's balance this light and love energy. Thank you so much for joining me in this video today. I do offer private sessions. If you need some extra help from me one-on-one, you can go to my website, High Priestess Ascension, to book in an appointment. I also have a course specifically designed for channeling with spirit guides, and I'll post a link below. You can check that course out. You get to go through these 25 transmission and practices with me, and 2 live classes with me as well. Sending you guys lots of love and light, and I will see you in the next video. Go out there and shine your light. Bye.